When I was growing up in Afghanistan, it was a beautiful country. Life was so simple. People were very friendly. People trusted each other. Today's life is so different because of the war, because of the situation in Afghanistan. I believe that the heart of Islam is to really be peaceful, really to be gentle with each other, and to be just. I'm Sakena Yacoobi. I am the founder and president of Afghan Institute of Learning. First thing that it's really motivated me to found the Afghan Institute of Learning was really the women and children of Afghanistan. I hear this horrible story about how they are being killed, how they are being raped. And when I went to the refugee camp, that's it for me. It was at that moment, as soon as I arrived, I saw children, I saw women, how much they suffer. All these people, homeless, they were poor, they were miserable. I said, I have to do something. And what could I do as an individual? How could I help them? I felt it, what happened to education, what it did to me. I'm a different person. I said, that's what I'm going to after education. I really wanted to teach my people critical thinking, so they will be self-sufficient. The core of Afghan Institute of Learning is teacher training, because we believe that if you have a good teacher in the classroom, no matter how poor the people are, they stay in the classroom. And then we just going to camp and trying to set up the school. It wasn't easy to bring a system of education to the refugee camp in which there wasn't a government, but we started through community. They feel this is their program. It's not that I'm imposing on them. They feel this is theirs. AOL is not only working in education, it's working to make a better human being, to really transform people, to really set up their mind in a way that they be a better citizen. And so we set up 80 schools inside Afghanistan. It wasn't just a school, it was a community activity that it really raised the standard of life in the community. I believe in God, and I believe that when you do something good, the outcome will be good too. And it did happen. The people of Afghanistan are not the same people that they have been before. They change. They want to go forward with their life. They do not want fight. Afghan people are kind. They are smart. They really need a chance to really be different. Our religion are constantly telling us that we are peaceful. The first word, salam, means peace. We say peace upon you. And that is the meaning of Islam. So please give us some chance and some time. They need your assistance. They need your help to rebuild their life. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you everyone for joining us. My name is Erin Mettler. I'm class of 2001 and I am the current Pacific Alumni Association President. And joining me today is Dr. Sakena Yacoobi. I'm going to go over a brief bio of Dr. Yacoobi, and then we will have some questions, and then we will open it up for audience participation as well. So briefly, welcome, Dr. Yacoobi. Dr. Sakena Yacoobi was born in Herat, Afghanistan, and came to the United States in the 1970s. She earned a bachelor's degree in biological science from University of the Pacific, and then continued on for a master's degree in public health from Loma Linda University. Currently, Dr. Yacoobi serves as the executive director of the Afghan Institute of Learning, which is an Afghan NGO she founded in 1995. The organization was established to provide teacher training to Afghan women and children. IAL supported over 80 underground homeschools for 3,000 girls in Afghanistan after the Taliban came to power and closed girls' schools. In addition to the Afghan Institute of Learning, Dr. Yacoobi is the founder of several other institutions in Afghanistan, including the Professor Sakena Yacoobi Private Hospital in Herat, 4 private high schools, and the private station Radio Mirage. She is also the co-founder and executive director of Creating Hope International, a nonprofit organization based in Michigan. In 2005, Dr. Yacoobi was awarded the Democracy Award from the National Endowment for Democracy. She was among 1,000 women nominated to jointly receive the 2005 Nobel Prize for Peace. In May 2007, she received an honorary degree, a Doctor of Laws, from the University of the Pacific for her leadership and human rights work for women and children. Most recently, in February 2020, Dr. Yacoobi was presented with the Stand Up Leadership Award at the International Convention 2020 in Dallas, Texas. And this past April, she was named an Aurora Humanitarian by the Aurora Prize for Awakening Humanity. These are just a few examples of her many awards and accolades over the years and for her continued humanitarian work. We are excited to welcome Dr. Sakena Yacoobi to our Leading Voices series today. Welcome, Dr. Sakena.
Thank you very much, Erin. Hi, everyone. I am so delighted and honored to be here. It is something that I really looking forward to see all of you and really join this alumni and be part of UP. I always have been part of University of Pacific, and I felt it, that's my home. That is the place that I really feel at home. It's my second home, you can say that. It is wonderful to be around here. Yes, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah. Absolutely. That feeling of home transcends class years, and all of us Pacificans, I think, feel the same way. So thank you for that. The first question I wanted to ask you is to talk a little bit about your experience at Pacific. When you were here in the 70s, you were the first Afghan woman, the only Afghan at the university. What was that like for you?
Well, this is a very, very excellent question that you ask me. It's I really believe that University of Pacific was a place that it's really helped me to grow. You know, something that really, sometimes you say that I got mature and I learned, and it was that step that when I came to the University of Pacific, I came from Afghanistan. I had deficiency in English. Completely, I didn't know English. And here I chose this university to come. And one of the reasons that I chose that university, because I hear the repetition of a small size class. And also I hear the repetition of having a sort of a friendly environment with the professor, with the alumni, with everybody. So once I got there with lack of English, it was a challenging situation. It's really made me to really be the person that I am today. I really feel that if those challenges was not there, those encouragement wasn't there, and those inspiration wasn't there, I don't think I could make it, because it was hard. It was a hard life. But those steps at UP made me stronger, made me to believe in myself, made me to have self-confidence, and also made me to be really a person-to-person person, because really I was, the beginning I came to be a doctor, a medical doctor. And you working at the University of Pacific and studying there, day to day, get involved with people, getting to know people, working with the foreign students. So it's, I felt it myself, I'm a more social worker than being a doctor. I find myself, you know, in that area. And that's the reason I say that it was a seed. It was the seed that really, it was cultivated there. And from there, I got my energy, I got my positive energy, I got my potential, whatever you think of it, I got from the University of Pacific. And that was the place that I find myself that I want to do what always as a child I wanted to do. As a child, when I was in Afghanistan, I wanted to be a doctor to help the women and children. And so from there, this dream of mine that was there, and I just keep working on it, how I can reach the women and children, which area I should go, and how I can really satisfy myself and my public, my people, to be some kind of head. And that's the time that I decided, well, I'm going to go in this area of public health in the future and see how it will work, and that I can be more in the service of the people. And that was it, that I choose the public health, and I continue my education in public health. And from there, that was that I saw I hear the cry of children in Afghanistan, and I hear the cry of the women in Afghanistan. And when I was in United States, and I really wanted to go back home, really wanted to go back home to really help my people. And yes, I had a wonderful life here. Yes, everything was great. I was a professor. I was teaching at university. I had an excellent life. I met, good salary, as money is something that everybody needs. But my mind was always back home, and I thought, here everybody around me are educated. I need somewhere to go to really reach and help. And at the time, Russian invaded Afghanistan. 7 million refugees were in the refugee camp, and majority of them women and children. So I just quit my job. I went to the refugee camp, and there I find out. Every time that I turn my face, I saw some women in need. They are crying. They are devastated. They really need help. And that moment, I felt it, that this is my area. I really need to work with these women. And what you could do as a one single person, how you could help. You are not rich. You don't have money. How you are going to do it? And that's something, again, University Pacific came up. Because at the University Pacific, I got that skill. I got that relationship. I got a lot of people are helping me. A lot of my professor was very, very helpful to me. And they provided me always assistance. At that moment there, I said, well, this is I can do. I can provide education. And these people can stand up on their own. I stand up on my own because of education. Really, education gave me stability. It gave me studies. It gave me resilience. And these people need that. That is, no matter how much money you give in the refugee camp, how much food you give, but you really are not helping. If you really want to help those individuals, that's you do. And that's I start in education. But at the same time, at that time, education, what kind of education? Education, quality education. What I got at the University Pacific, education that is a friendly environment with a relationship with your professor, with your teacher, a relationship that they understand where are you coming from, a relationship that how important you are and how important you are to them and how much they appreciate you. This kind of relationship that I get from University of Pacific. And so that's I wanted to give. So that's, I said, this teacher telling me, first we must train the teacher. We train the teacher to be a critical thinking teacher, create an environment that the students have a special relationship with them, and the students who are traumatized in the refugee camp, the students who suffer, the family who are suffer, that they feel comfortable, they find their comfort with this teacher, and they come to the classroom, no matter if the classroom is under the tent or under the tree, or if they don't have any facility or any material, but if they have a good teacher, if that teacher really, they enjoy being with that teacher, and their students will stay with them. And that happened. So we created that kind of a manual. We trained the teacher in that matter, and they call interactive students methodology. That way, the teacher was trained, and the teacher came into the classroom, and that's it. From there, then we start developing class, school after school. We had 15 schools, 27,000 students inside Pakistan. And then we went into Afghanistan. And then we had underground school for 80,000 students for 4 provinces of Afghanistan. So it was just going nonstop. And today, I can tell you that AIL is one of the largest women organizations in Afghanistan. We have 1,000 people are working for us. We have all kinds of level of education, from preschool to high school to university. We have all kinds of activity like conferences, international conferences, peace conferences, democracy, all kinds of activity in AIL. So that seed was planted in University of Pacific. That's I feel that I got my energy I got from there. Yeah.
Yeah, and certainly your example of how to be that caring educator and seeing that importance of having that foundation,
Well,
for
well,
sure.
to tell you the truth, really, those professor, I just want to mention them. I don't know. Some of them maybe they are alive. Some of them are. I hope that everybody is alive. I had several professors that never I forget their name, and that relationship that they were so kind to me. Professor Smith, Professor Cobb, Professor Hunter, Professor Fankhauser. This professor, they were like my friend. Although I was a young teenage student, 18 years old, but they were older people, but they really were so kind to me, and they understood where I come from. They understood my language. They understood where I'm about to go, what I want to do. So every time that I come with a tear, they just comfort me and said, "You be okay." And so with that kind of relationship, it's something that you never forget.
Yeah,
Something.
they became your family here in the
Yes,
United
that's it.
States when you left your
Absolutely,
family.
absolutely. Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Did you find it difficult when you were on campus to make those connections with other students? I mean,
Uh,
faculty you get to see regularly, but how did you find that
the
connections?
students, it was hard. First, the beginning, it was hard. Once I become popular, then it was very easy. And how I become popular with being involved in the international students affair. I become the president of foreign students and activity of the foreign students. As a matter of fact, that is the place that also I learned how to be active, how to have party, how to do all kinds of things. So from there, that's it. So the beginning, it was very hard to communicate with the students. But once I got involved, our network, I did start talking to people, and that really helped me. I feel that if it was my effort also and their effort too, that it made it the difference. Otherwise, it would be hard to just stay in my own corner and be just by myself. It would be hard. Beginning, I was in my corner and I was just alone, and for first few years. But then I just pop in, and then I was in with the group. Yes.
That's great. So you talked a little bit about your career and all the different steps that took you to get to that creation of the Afghan Institute of Learning. What career advice would you give our students today based on your experience?
Well, first of all, I really, my personal advice is that believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and don't stop. Just have a big vision. Sometimes I talk about it to people. I say I'm entrepreneur. I have a vision and I just keep looking forward. I just don't stop right here. I keep looking forward and always I take risk, you know. And when you do that, then you, whatever goal you set up for yourself, you try to reach that goal, and your goal always should be big. And that big goal for me, it was that something that I really wanted. As a matter of fact, I just want to share with you that when I said I want to be a doctor, I wanted to be a doctor to go into Afghanistan and build a hospital. That was my goal. And no matter how I was a refugee, I was in different country, I was in the refugee camp, but I did go into Afghanistan. I built a huge hospital, one of its kind today. And with the best sophisticated equipment I have right now, about 50 doctors working for me, nurses. That's it. So I really felt that that's my goal and I focus on it and I achieved it. And that's not enough for me that no, I am just after something else that I want to build my university, which is we are working on it. But my point is that for the students that have your goal, focus on your goal and try to reach that goal and make that goal to be as high as you can, because you will reach it. If you try your best, you will. No matter what the circumstance says, you will get your goal. And that's for me, that's I choose my career. Today, I am the executive director of EIL, but in reality, I am the president of many, many institutes inside my institute, So one of the reasons that I didn't just satisfy with one post, I just keep going. Post for me really didn't make that much. How much I can provide service, how much I could reach people, but how important for me to reach to people and help them, because I got so much benefit from other helping me. So I wanted to give back, and that is again something that I would really appreciate students to, especially young people, to really have this kind of mentality to what you have achieved or what you got, you give back to the society, give to your population, give to your country, give it to other country like that.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that you said resonated with me, and that is if you have a good teacher can really inspire their students regardless of circumstance or regardless of what kind of school they're in. How did you find your teachers for your learning institute and to set up your schools?
I am very tough. It is really, especially being in Afghanistan, also in the refugee camp. So I really made sure that I interview my teachers. I interview every single teacher that I had at the time. Now somebody else is doing the job, but the beginning I supposed to interview every teacher. The first thing that I ask that what they want to do, why they want to go to the classroom, how they feel with the students. Is this is their job to just earn money, or is this a job from the heart, or they love to teach? And once I hear this word that I love to be with children, I love to teach, then that is the way I choose my teacher. And from that reason, I really believe you that the system of education today in Afghanistan, of course, not everywhere, but the area that has changed, it has to do with those teachers, because those teachers are a kind of teacher that they really are connected with the students and they love to teach. Is they are, even they are poor, even they are not earning that much money, but they are there for a cause. So that makes a difference. That makes a difference.
For sure. One other question I had for you is, what values do you apply to your life and into your work? Can you think of a couple values that are central?
Well, I feel that responsibility is something that you really must to take it serious. One thing that I really feel, um, dedication and responsibility is something that you must put priority in your life, and that is I try to do that. Maybe I'm not complete, but I do my best to be a responsible person, and um, I dedicate my life to Afghanistan, to the children of Afghanistan, to the women of Afghanistan, and I am willing to sacrifice to completely be destroyed for that, and I want to do it because I believe in my work. And one other things that I really, it is stand up in my life. I'm a spiritual person. Not religious as such, but I'm a spiritual person. I really believe that every human being needs to have some kind of belief, some kind of thing that if you believe in God or you believe in whatever you believe in form of tree in a God, in form of an ocean, in form of a mountain, whatever you believe in it, you must be strong in your belief, and that belief gives you a pillar that you stand up for. And that's for me my spirituality. That because since it's right now almost 31 years that I work from Pakistan to Afghanistan now. And any day I could be killed. I face so many danger. And one thing that is really carrying me on, keep going, it was my faith and my spirituality that I believe strongly, and I believe in moral and value. I believe in good deed, and I believe in love and compassion and wisdom. And those are the things that is really carrying me to go forward. Anytime that I was sort of, wow, I'm going to make it or not, I just close my eyes and just meditate for a moment, and I just was fine, jumping back and doing what I was doing.
Yeah, that recentering is so important sometimes when you're in the midst of crisis and you just need to focus.
Look, today, I really feel that today is the day, and this era in all over the world. I think that this COVID-19 is created a situation that all of us, one way or another way, we really need to get that moment of ourselves and to meditate. That's maybe opportunity. A lot of people maybe didn't take that time. Maybe never. Maybe they were not giving themselves a time for themselves or for their family. And this is some way that is really we need to sit back and think about it and give ourselves a time to just really concentrate who we are, what we are here for, how we are going to do it, how we reach each other, why is it so important. That's, I think that this is this moment right now.
Yeah, for sure. We are definitely all reimagining what normal is and can be. And I think there's a tremendous opportunity. I'm in agreement with you that there's an opportunity to kind of reprioritize your life and what you hold dear. Absolutely. And how that works.
Absolutely.
Excellent. I think we've got some questions lined up in the chat. Perhaps, Chris, you want to go into how that's going to work?
Yes, all right. So Shannon will be typing out instructions into the chat, but how we're going to be doing that today is anyone that has a question, under the participants tab, there is a raise hand section. So go ahead and raise your hand and we will go ahead and call on you as those come up. So we'll give everyone a moment to find that and raise their hands. I do know in the chat, we have Mary Piatanza, who was there. So Mary, if you could go ahead and unmute yourself, we will have you ask your first question.
Hi, thanks, Chris. Hi, welcome. Your story is very inspiring, and as is the work that you're doing. I have a couple of questions, but I'll start out with one. What are your thoughts, or are you optimistic about the future of women's rights in Afghanistan?
Yes, women in Afghanistan, this is a very challenging question, but where we start, and I'm going to tell you today, women of Afghanistan has a long way to go, but the beginning, the women of Afghanistan never had any right, and they were abused, they never had a right, but today in our constitution, the woman has all equal right as men, but how much is being practiced is a question, but we are working toward that issue constantly. And today's women, that if you look at them, compared to the woman 10 years ago, or to the woman 20 years ago, completely different. Today, the women of Afghanistan, they are non-stop. They are non-stop. They are after education, they are after job, they are after equal pay, they are after government job, parliamentarian, all kinds of things. So they are fighting for it. And I am very happy because you like it or you don't like it, I give credit to EIL. This, at least 80% of the women who are successful today and have a career, they are related one way or another way to Afghan Institute of Learning. They have been in our institute. So I am very proud of them. And we have a long way still to go. Still just this moment that I talked to you, I just wrote something about the legal issue. We have a law clinic and we defend the women's issue. So we have women lawyer working for us. So I was talking about it because some women was completely, they were very abused and they were trying to burn themselves. And so somebody saved them. And so this issue was big issue and I was discussing so that we are not going to let this happen, that they must be paid for it. They must to really come to justice. This is something that we are working for. Yeah.
That's interesting. Can you talk just a little bit about what your curriculum looks like for the schools in Afghanistan? I mean, we're used to English and science and history. Is it similar for your schools?
Well, it depends. We have from first grade to 12th grade, and from first to 4th, they are social science and sort of reading and writing a little bit, and then story. This is after 4th grade to 7th grade, the sciences start. We have subject of science, and then after that, then we didn't have that much psychology. That's one area that we are weak. Still, we are weak. psychology was not that much in Afghanistan available, but now we have those areas, those fields. So the students take all kinds of curriculum, yes, in history, geography, social study, physics, chemistry, all kinds of subjects they take, yes.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much. So we have a question from actually two of our students are on here, Hannah, class of 21, and Asif, class of 19.
Hello, Dr. Yacoobi. It's great to hear from you today and learn more about your work. So my question is, how can current students help support and promote your work in Afghanistan?
Well, that is wonderful news to hear. I think that one thing that really everyone can help to give us publicity. You are as a young man, young woman, you are in the campus, and today technology is the palm of your hand, and it's very easy to to write in a Facebook, to write in the media, do something. And talk about our program. Talk about our program, that what we are trying to do. Our mandate is to try to transform our society to a better society, to a good citizen, to a very productive society. We empower women, we empower children, and that is our mandate. And so if you can publicize this for us, that would be the best thing. And the second thing, of course, always that we are looking for funding, and so then you can use our website. You can give our information from our website to people if you want to. That would be good. But then above all, I hope that you guys, as you search for our website and learn from it, just try to be somebody that you can help, no matter who are there who needs help. Reach out for them and try to help. Yes. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, excellent. And next up, we have a question from Kathy Wooten, class of 91.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Yacoobi, for being here with us today. There are many challenges for international students today with various regulation changes. I'm curious about your thoughts on what you see to be the greatest challenge for international women who are interested in pursuing education abroad.
This is something that I hope that this doesn't become a normal life of us, that we are locked down, And right now, the situation is so bad that I'm stuck here, I'm locked down here. Otherwise, I should be in Afghanistan. And I am hoping that pretty soon this will be over, but at least another 6 months or 3 months or whatever. But I hope in the future we will be able to travel, because the international field is a field that until you don't travel to different country, until you don't go see by yourself the site, and you don't communicate with the people, and you don't have the taste of different culture, different language, and different food, all kinds of things that is art, and those things, until you don't have that taste, you really don't get to be expert in the area of international study. So I am hoping that all our life change, that everybody has a freedom to go. As a matter of fact, just I was talking to somebody in Lynn University. They're supposed to send their students to my organization to do work. And right now, nobody are allowed to go out there. So the students are going to do their research from here, working with our research team who are there. So a lot of restriction now, but let's hope and pray that this restriction will be over and the COVID-19 be completely demolished, that we all can travel. Yes, thank you.
Okay, and next we have a question from Dave Fredrickson.
Hi. Yeah, I remember him. Yes. Now that see the face, yes.
I'm reading from the Yacoobi Center.
Yes.
And all of your friends there.
Thank you. It's nice to
what I'd
you.
like, how
You.
how do you find the conditions in your country now with the situation with the Taliban? Are you able to function freely, or are you still having difficulties with the internal situation there?
Well, it's very interesting that you asked this question. I was expecting somebody else will ask me this question, but nobody asked me. But I am very much interested that you ask. First of all, as I'm talking right now to you, right now in my country is war inside. And as a matter of fact, Taliban got so much active now these days, more than 2 months ago. They are very active. They are bombing everywhere. They are killing everywhere. And in one way, they are in negotiation table in Qatar. And the other way, they are bombing inside Afghanistan. Right now, Kabul is so unsafe. Herat is so unsafe. Or just they destroy half of the city completely. But how do I feel about it? What is my work? For some reason, one reason or another reason, I don't know. If you ever had a chance to listen to my TED Talk, I had a TED Talk, and I talk about the Taliban. And somehow I have been able to, so far, to work, not work with them, but work in a way that my work has been protected. My work has been protected, I don't know, because the way I dress, the way I have been dressed all my life, so I don't know. So my work so far has not been affected by it, but a lot of other people's work has been affected, yes. And women are looking really very nervous right now because we achieve a lot, but now it seems like we are going backward. And it's scary. It's scary.
Yes. All right. I have a question actually in the chat. Speaking of women that you have had impact on, could you share one or two specific stories about women that you've had a personal impact on with your work?
Sure. There are many stories, but I can share with you one story that when I was in Peshawar, Pakistan, and it was like it was people were coming to the door and they were coming for humanitarian assistance. They wanted me to give them some food or something. And one day a woman came with 3 children and she was crying. And she came to the door and she said, I need some help. And I said, what can I do for you? And she said, I want food, I want money. And I looked at her and I said, well, we are not humanitarian. We could not help you with that, but we could help you with your children, that your children can go to school. And she looked at me and she just sort of gazed and she said, I'm telling you, we are starving. We are on the street and you are telling me you are helping me with education. And I don't want my children to go to school because my children are my supporter. They are in the street begging and they are collecting money for me. And I said, well, I am sorry, I cannot do anything else. Can you do something? And she said, no, I don't know anything how to do it. I said, well, if you want to work, if you want to do something, you can come and I will give you a little job to do, but in one condition, that I help your children to go to school. So she didn't accept the first day. She went, and a week later, she came back again. And she said, what do you give me to do? I said, you can be a cleaner in here by yourself, but your children has to go to school. So she agreed, we gave her a job as a cleaner, and we put our children to school. Her oldest daughter at the time was 11 years old. She never went to school. We put her to school. She was smart. She was brilliant. And in a very fast track classes, we put her in the fast track classes, and she just, like every year, she went to get it fast. So she graduated, and when she graduated, she went to the nursing school. We had the nursing program. And she became a nurse midwife. And today, she's in Afghanistan in one of our clinics. She bought a home inside Afghanistan. She supports 2 of her brother and sister. Her mother, in the first 5 years, she just took her mother out of the job and she was working and studying at the same time. And so She is so successful. I am so proud of her. Every time that I go to clinic for visit, she is there, right? And I see that she's surrounded by women and children, and she is helping, right, non-stop. And that is something that I am very proud of her. I'm proud of her mother that led her to study, and I am proud of the staff that help her. So it is a good, it's a great impact because now they are empowered, they are on their own, and they don't have to back on the street, and they have a good life right now. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's a great story. Next, Mary Pietanza.
Hi, it's me again. That's a wonderful story. Thank you for sharing that. So earlier you had mentioned that you're serving over 80,000 students in the Institute of Learning. And how do you support that learning? What are some of the resources that you tap into, and what are some opportunities to support the work that you do?
Well, first of all, let me to correct you that in that every year, 120 students graduate from our program. 120,000 students graduate from our program. It's not from one program, it's from different programs. We have different kind of program. And how we support them. Most of my funding come from my award. I get lots of award, and I got very big award. And so the award go directly to the program. So that is one of the way that we support. The second way that we support, we write a proposal, we get funding from this country, and it's come to Creating Hope International, and Creating Hope International keep it, and as we need money from here, it goes to there. And what kind of curriculum, how we have our resource, we develop our own curriculum, but we have to do it the same curriculum as the government provided, but we integrate our own creativity on our curriculum. For example, curriculum of government doesn't have English from the first grade, doesn't have a computer from the first grade, but we integrate our own curriculum into the curriculum of the government. We teach English from first grade, we teach computer from first grade. Also, curriculum of government doesn't have a preschool, we have a preschool. We believe in early childhood education, so we have an excellent preschool, so we have that. And for our other students, also we integrated health education into our curriculum. The government program doesn't have health education, we have a health education into our curriculum. So also peace education is not in the curriculum of government, we integrate because we have our own timing slot that we can put in, and we teach our students a kind of things that we think that it will be a tool. What happened? I hear my own voice, I don't know. So anyway, it is a kind of a tool that we are using to really help our students to be a better citizen, to serve our country better, and to have a skill that they can reach out. Yeah.
That's the curriculum sounds wonderful. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
All right, and so we have another question from Hannah and Asif.
Okay.
Oh, we have you muted.
Sorry. I wanted to use this opportunity to say hello to Dr. Sakena and acknowledge her endless support towards education. I'm one of her students who attended Pacific in 2016 through a scholarship that was provided. Hi.
Are you Majid? You are Majid?
Yes, awesome.
Ah, here. Where is Kali? So she.
Kelly's furiously
Hi.
writing it down.
Yeah. Nice
so it's
to
been a
see
while.
you.
I know Dr. Sakena has a very, very busy schedule, so I was excited to see her today. I had the opportunity to work with her and AIL in 2014 and 15, and then I attended Pacific through the scholarship that she provided. I was one of her students, and I successfully graduated the UP in 2019, and I wanted to give her the good news. I'm now at the graduate school at Pacific Engineering Science. And
that is good. That is good.
Thank you.
Very happy. That is wonderful.
It was hard. I wouldn't be here without her support. Her support means the world to me and many other people who has been positively affected by it. So I also wanted to ask if I was one of the students who was given the opportunity to attend EOP, and the support. I wanted to see if the extent of such scholarships for other younger people in Afghanistan, if that is something that the AIL has been working on or is looking forward to support more people. Thank you.
Well, this is a very, first of all, I am so excited because I was looking for you. I was telling Kelly that I was saying that if you find Majid, and Majid is there still. I know that you are there. It is very good news. I congratulate you. Thank you very much for being here. And to give you this news that if some other students, I am working on it. You know that it wasn't the easy things to do. I have been looking for a scholarship all over, and I'm looking many university, but because of the system of immigration, now the law is harder to get into this country. One. Second things, I have a lot of scholarship giving to many students inside Afghanistan. So I sent students to Afghan university, to Kabul University, or to private university that they go and complete their education. But still, I really wanted to continue this scholarship with the University Pacific. And you know what happened the time that I came? You know that when I met with the president, somehow, some way, somewhere, somebody had some mistake that our scholarship was a little bit like sort of was cut. It wasn't cut, it was shortened. You know, let's say shortened. It's supposed to be every year 4 students. They said only 4 years, 4 students, that's it. So right now I am working again with the Lynn University and Middlebury University. With those 2 universities, I am working and trying to set up some other kind of a scholarship, and hopefully that will work. And yeah, definitely, I want students who are smart like you and the students who really wants to give back to Afghanistan. I want them to come back and really from here, because definitely it makes a big difference when you come abroad. Because yes, you learn inside Afghanistan, you learn many good curriculum we have, but when you come to abroad, then you learn a different skill that you can be very helpful to the country. So yes, we are working on it. Thank you. And I hope someday you come back to Afghanistan and do your duty too. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I miss everyone, all the colleagues at AIA, you, and I definitely, I'm excited to come back and work.
Well, you know, Jawad came back, and Jawad wanted to come work with me, but somehow he went to work with USAID because we don't have that much money. And I understand that. As long as he work in Afghanistan, I am happy, because no matter if you work in AIL or you work in the government or you work somewhere else, as long as you keep your quality and you keep your morale, that is I'm after. And so if he can do that, that is fine. He asked me, he said he is going to work for USAID because he's earning more money. That's fine. He went there. But you, the same thing. But AIL is open for you guys. Anytime you come, AIL have a job all the time. So if you come there, you want to work to AIL, but remember, AIL doesn't pay like UN or doesn't pay like USAID. But AIL pay a little higher than the government of Afghanistan, but we watch what we are doing. Huh? That's
Thank you. Thank you. It's very nice to see you.
Did you get married? Somebody told me you got married. Just, I ask you this question. Did you get married?
No. No. UOP, I still got a year and a half finish a UOP, left the UOP. So my graduate degree is 2 years. Hopefully I'll finish on time.
Okay.
So
not
I'm still
that
a UOP, a
wrong.
full-time student.
It's good if you did. I'm just, somebody told me that you don't see Majid because he got married.
No.
What's happening to Majid? So anyway, that is good. That is good.
Thank you so much.
Graduate work. I'm glad. Yeah,
What a great way to end this hour that we've spent that's just flown by. As we conclude our time with Dr. Yacoobi, I want to thank everybody who joined us today for our Leading with Purpose, our Leading Voices series. Dr. Yacoobi, any last piece of advice that you have or anything that we missed that you would like to talk about?
First of all, let me to thank all of you. It was a pleasure to be with you. And thank you for all your time and effort from the bottom of my heart. Second, I really feel that especially talking to students or alumni, I think that the one thing that I really feel that all of us need today to learn how to love and share. Do that, because that is bring your humanity. Because if we don't have that part in us, life is not meaningful. And that is the way I feel. And I hope that also that every one of you be able to be a sort of a media for AIL, because AIL is yours. And anytime you are students, maybe hopefully someday your students come to AIL. And as AIL students came to UOP, maybe your students will come to AIL to do research, to do work, to do their project, whatever. So we will be open to you. We are one of the largest institutes, and we will be delighted to have you, any of you. So
Excellent.
thank you very much. Thank you.
One final question, if I may. As the university heads into our final stretch of the Leading with Purpose campaign, it's more important than ever for us to remember what guides us. And you've talked a lot about this today, but if you could just wrap up in one sentence, I know this might be difficult, one sentence, what is your purpose?
Well, first of all, my purpose is that there shouldn't be one single child without education anywhere in the world. I think that education is the key issue, that it makes the human as a good human that they could be. Because if you're not educated, you will not serve your purpose at all. If we want to have a purpose in life, we must be educated. So I feel education is a tool to really build human being. That is one thing. Besides spirituality, of course, God is the one who created us, but at the same time, God gave us the brain and the intelligence to use it. And that way, if we use it on education, and also we must look for people who doesn't have that opportunity, and to share that opportunity with the people who are disadvantaged, with the people who don't have this opportunity, and that they can have the same education as we do. And that is my purpose, and that to everybody share, everybody be educated. I hope that I made that. I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Sakena Yacoobi.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.